HBCUs are more than a trend.
Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the #1 outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
Yes. What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of our interview series. On today, the HBCU Experience interviews are back. We are doing interviews this time around because we did Grambling, we did Southern, we did College Hill. Now we're doing the HBCU Band Alumni 3rd edition, coming soon, real soon actually, on Amazon. Just in time for the football season, just in time for ESPN Band of the Year competition, just in time for all the different stuff going on. I can't wait till Saturday, man. I cannot wait till Saturday. So this is just getting me ready for Saturday. And we're talking to a brother that is from the magnificent Marching Machine. We talked to one former member of the magnificent Marching Machine. Now we're talking to another one. That's the coldest band name thus far. Listen, Human Jukebox, listen, like Sonic Boom, even Fort Valley Blue Machine Marching Band. But Magnificent takes the name to a whole new level. So we're going to go on and bring him on, Mr. Marcus Neal in the building. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great, man. Glad to be here.
Listen, Magnificent Marching Machine. Y'all got a name, man. Y'all got a name.
Hey, man, it suits us well.
So y'all magnificent. Y'all magnificent?
Definitely magnificent.
I love it. Listen, it's so great to have you here. First and foremost, how does it feel to be in the HBCU Experience, the HBC Band Alumni 3rd edition? How does it feel?
It's an honor. I mean, this, like you said, this is the 3rd book, and it was so many people that I've known from the first 2 editions, and to be included in that number, I was excited for the chance to be in the book and share my stories.
I love it. So we're going to get into some of your stories, and then later on, we're going to ask you, what you talk about in the book, because we got to get a sneak preview, because you got to understand, man, it's Tuesday right now. Saturday is when college football season starts, and really band season too. So we just want a little something to really tide us over until Saturday. So we're going to talk about that later on, but let's go on and really get into it. So what made you choose Morgan State University as your HBCU?
Oh, man. What made me choose Morgan? Honestly, Morgan, it happened by chance. I'm from Baltimore, and in high school I was in the Morgan State parade all those years, but I never got a chance to see the band because they was always at the front of the parade. So my high school was even further back in the parade, and my band director never really let us stay for all the festivities, so we should just pack up and go home. So what happened my senior year, the band director, Dr. Melvin Miles, he came to our band banquet, and I was like, you know what? I like what this man was talking about. And I said, you know what? Let me go and take my talents across. In Baltimore, we say over East or over West. So I'm from West Baltimore. So I was like, I'm going to take my talents over over to East Baltimore. So the very first time I seen Morgan's band was when I became a member of Morgan's band. And the rest is history.
Listen, I want to just say, I heard the Take My Talents, the Kobe Bryant, LeBron James decision. And this fall, would take my talents to Morgan State University and join the magnificent Marching Machine. It feel official. It feel professional. It feel better than when LeBron said it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It feel a little bit better than that. You know what I mean? But listen, so I need just to tell us about your life as a member, because, we see different, fictional narratives. Of course, the first one that comes to mind is Drumline, but we even see reality TV shows. We saw Bama State Style. We saw marching orders on Netflix with Bethune-Cookman. So we see a little bit of the experience of HBCU band life. But what was your experience like in the Magnificent Marching Machine?
So my experience, it opened up my eyes to the culture of marching bands. Like another example is, like I was saying, when in high school we didn't even really do field shows. We may learn one show for homecoming, right? So when I got there, and keep in mind, so I got there in '97. So this is just as the internet is starting to become a thing, right? So I got there and I started seeing like, oh, okay, this is real deal. And then we start to see how the competitiveness within your section and with other sections, and then it all comes together, and then we get competitive against other bands. I'm like, this is my lane. I love this. And what really blew my mind is when we was at I'll never forget, my freshman year, we went to Hampton and they had a high school band day. And I'm like, wait a minute. These kids in high school is doing all the stuff I just learned this year. Like, I'm that far behind. So Morgan opened up my eyes to so much that I don't want to say I was robbed, but if you're not exposed, you just won't know. And that was my experience. And it just opened up my eyes so much to such a bigger world of outside of just my small little corner in West Baltimore.
So what were the band members regarded as on campus? And I asked that because at some schools, if you were in the band, you that guy, you're that girl, like you royalty on campus, so I want to see if y'all was royalty, y'all was magnificent on campus. So talk to us about that experience, that social experience.
We definitely had our rock star status. We could get away with a lot of stuff, especially I want to say, like, our cafeteria, we call it the refect. So, they know the band's coming, so everybody get out the way. They know we need to hurry up and we need to eat, so we hurry and get back to rehearsal. And just the teachers work with you. They know we have a busy schedule. So if we had to go to New York, or we had to go to actually my freshman year, we went to San Diego. So that was a big deal too. And they just worked with us. The campus really embraced us. And as the years started to go along, the band started getting bigger. It was really a big deal then.
Hello. I'm sorry. You were cutting out a little bit, but I heard the last part of what you said. No, it's all good. You said it was a big deal because I was like, this story good. Wait a minute. I'm trying wait, still going. So listen. So I love it. So that social experience, y'all, magnificent on campus. So how did you balance, just your HBCU life? Because you're a student. I think that's one thing as student leaders that, we all forget is that you're a student first. Because we're out, we might have fun on campus, off campus. We're doing our different responsibilities, like, for example, you and the band. But how did you balance being a student, your social life, and also just your band professional life? How did you balance all of that?
So it was difficult at first. Listen, I'll be the first person to tell everybody it was rough for me because I don't want to say I was a party animal, but I took the HBCU experience like way far. We were always on the road. You would always find me. It would be nothing to find me at another HBCU. 1 week I'm at Howard. 1 week you catch me at Prairie View down in Texas. So it was yes. I was. We was getting around but my thing was when I went to class, I had to make sure I was on top of everything what I needed to do. And I ended up switching majors, and that was a big deal with me as well because it was hard for me to do like my I was an electrical engineering major. It was hard for me to get those classes in because I couldn't pass some of them. And because of that, I ended up having to go part-time for a while. And like I said, I tell all the people, I use myself as a cautionary tale. Like, I had fun, but don't be like me. But then at the same time, I persevered. A lot of people were doubting me. They was like, "Oh, he's one of those guys, those typical band guys. They just go to play in the band and then they flunk out." Well, no, I persevered. I came back and got 2 degrees from Morgan.
Wow. So how did you manage the 2 degrees? Because you said, you tried to be on top of your studies and then you had to go back and refocus. So that's a powerful story. So how were you able to get 2 degrees? Like, how did you manage that mentally?
Man, tell you, when you start having to pay for school out of your own pocket, you're there first thing in the morning, front and center, listening to everything that professor is telling you. And my professors, they picked up on that. When I went to school for my master's, man, I think I got one of the high academic awards achievement for GPA, and I've never had something like that. Not in college, because I had nothing but A's. Like I don't have time to play. Like I need this degree. So it was a lot. I do want to thank my wife. She was a big part of that as well. She definitely held me down when it was time for me to get my master's. So I'm definitely blessed for my wife, and I met her in the band as well.
Wait a minute. Let's see what you gave us is an HBCU love story, which it seems like nowadays is very scarce in my generation. So I need you to tell us about your HBCU love story.
So my wife Bridget, she was in the band. She was a flag, and we always loved to tell this story because when she was first got there, I really wasn't checking for her. We all know I wasn't checking for her, but years later, we ran into each other, and it clicked. And she ran up to me, and she loves to tell everybody how it happened. She ran up to me, gave me a big hug, like sexual chocolate. and literally, that I mean, like the rest is history, man. It's like we have 3 beautiful kids. We ended up actually buying a house down the street from the school. So I live down the street from Morgan. I try to go up there whenever I can to help out with the band as well, man. Always gotta have loyalty to the alma mater.
For sure. And listen, I got a spotlight this because this wasn't planned, by the way. So on HBCU Pulse, I think you saw it. On HBCU Pulse, we got the numbers for Morgan State University's freshman class, around 2,300 freshmen. Like I said, this was not planned. Like, I found out you gonna come on the show today, but I was like, no, we got to put out these numbers. We did Fort Valley, my alma mater. We did Albany State. We did Alabama A&M, but Morgan State, y'all brought in a whole entire school population as freshmen. So I want you just to talk about like just the feeling of the alumni about, what's coming in this school year, how excited you are about the football season.
Listen, I'm telling you, this campus looks nothing like when I was there. Nothing. I was up there the other day working with some of the freshmen in the band, and I was just pointing to like this building wasn't here, this building wasn't here. And like we're so excited about what's going on. Dr. Wilson, the president of the university, he was talking about how he might have to cap off enrollment at about 10,000 because it's like housing is an issue. Like we've had housing issues in the past, but they just built a new dorm. They're building another one right next to it that should be completed by next year that can house all of these students that they're like. I know Morgan, a lot of people don't talk about Morgan, like, because everybody wants to talk about all the swag schools, but I'm telling you, Morgan is up and coming. Like, I mean, besides the band, just like academics, the research facilities, it's so much. There's a reason why we're called the national treasure. I'm telling you, and more people are jumping on board. So you'll see the products real soon.
Like we're already seeing it because and one thing I always say is that I'm almost jealous because I graduated 2019, got to Fort Valley, started my HBCU experience in 2015, and I would have loved to have been on campus with like 2,999 other freshmen because I gotta be one of them. I gotta count. You know what I'm saying? I relish that, and it's so cool, like, to have that experience and that variance because, like, when you're an alumni, even a young alumni like me, you see the changes, you see the differences. So just in general, from what you've seen from the band in recent years versus when you were in the band, what are some things that you have seen that's changed within the band?
Student leadership. I'm not saying we've always had student leaders, but I had the opportunity to come up to band camp and help out, and I'm seeing a lot more students being vocal and helping out other students. More students are running like sectionals or rehearsals. Like back in the day, we had like actual staff members. Like, okay, we're listening to Mr. Stewart, we're listening to Mr. James, whoever was the assistants at the time. But now it's like, okay, this old head, he's running that. It's to the point where I don't want to stop their growth. Like I could easily go up there and say, hey, let's do this. But I see that they're working it out. And because of that, they're getting that experience. So I know a lot of them want to go on to be band directors themselves. And that's important. So that's one of the biggest things I've seen. Another thing I've noticed is now that Dr. Reed's there, their travel has is increased tremendously. Just last year alone, they went to Honda. They did like 2 weeks before that, they was in New Jersey for a basketball classic. The Under Armour headquarters is here in Baltimore. They was there. I mean, like every time I turned around, they were somewhere. Like I would literally see, because we got a bus company, AS Midway Tours, and every time I see them going down the street, like that's probably the band. They're going somewhere. And normally it's the choir. Like our choir, we got a world-renowned choir. Like they go everywhere. But I can honestly say we're probably up there with them as far as traveling.
Hey, listen, I love to hear it, and I think this is a great transition. So you all do a lot of traveling. There's been more traveling that's been going on in recent years. So ESPN has their Band of the Year competition that's going to happen during the Celebration Bowl. Okay, Morgan State is in the MEAC. You got Coach Damon Wilson, who used to be at Bowie. He's going to really get the program together. He's an amazing coach, by the way. Was very successful in Division II. So got the Band of the Year competition. Is Morgan State going to be traveling to the Band of the Year competition?
It's a strong possibility.
Strong possibility. Okay.
Strong possibility.
All right.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Y'all got something cooking? Y'all got something cooking?
Reed's in there. He's whipping up some things.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you this then. So Morgan State, y'all go be down there. Y'all already booking the flight, getting ready to go down there. So how do you feel about the competition? Because we've never really had a competition like this. Like when we regard Drumline, for example, at the end of the movie, they had basically a Band of the Year competition between Atlanta A&T and Morris Brown. P.D. Pablo done popped out, came out, and what was it, a Cadillac? I don't know what car that was. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had that. We haven't had that in real life. So now we have that now. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a great opportunity to actually get a declared winner. Okay, so and it gives people something to work towards. And my biggest thing though is the judging. Like who's going to be the adjudicators? Because one thing about us, everyone doesn't agree on certain styles. So once we figure out what's going to be the criteria and going forward, I think it'll be a really good thing to push towards to get to because to my knowledge it's a Division I and Division II.
Yeah, so I can break that down. So let me break it down real quick so everybody can know. So it's not a traditional showcase, it's a competition. They really stress that. It's not like Honda Battle of the Bands. You have to compete your way there, and it's almost like the football season. They have a schedule where the bands are filmed and they're going to see what's going on with that. So North Carolina A&T, Hampton, Tennessee State, Talladega, non-HBCU conference HBCUs that are not in the SWAC or the MEAC, SIC or CIAA, they can join in as well. So the qualified Division I, Division II HBCU bands will be judged unspecified number of performances right now throughout the season, and the schedule is going to be put out really soon. And all 4 competing bands will be paid a monetary amount. We don't know that yet as of this recording or as of my research. We don't know how much the bands are going to get paid yet, but they're going to get paid. They're going to get that money. It's going to take place during the Celebration Bowl on Friday, September the 15th, and it's going to air on one of the ESPN networks. I'm hoping ESPN 1. We won't need it on ESPN 3. Okay, we need it everywhere so folks can see what's going on. So like the qualifications is essentially just like through those weeks, they're going to be seeing the bands and really grading the bands on really the same style that you see on Anscape or formerly Undefeated, where they graded the top bands on auxiliary, on musicality. So it's going to probably be those different criterias.
I like that. I like that idea. Okay. It's going to be, it's definitely going to be a tight race. It's going to be real tight because it's so are they going to still do like division? So for instance, like Kentucky State, Miles, they would be Division II.
Yeah.
So they would be fighting for Division II. Yeah, then it's going to be real tight for the crown for 2 divisions. Yeah.
So let me ask you this like you thinking, you got some opinions on it. So okay, Morgan. Okay, so Morgan State aside, who do you think are like the contenders to really get there in Division I and Division II?
You know what? As far as showmanship, I like the Spartans, man. And I know it burns me up like my pride, but they're clean. They know how to put out some sound when they need to, and they can put on a show. They can definitely put on a show. If it's not them, I'm probably saying the Boom.
So you're winners. So in Morgan State, like just Morgan State aside, you think in Norfolk or Jackson State, Sonic Boom. So that's what you think it might take it? Division I?
That's what I'm thinking. And especially looking at some of the numbers I've seen so far and the way they sound, and keep in mind, it's still August. So we got about another week for National Battle of Bands. So everybody got to come out. They got to come out swinging. So we'll see. We'll see real soon.
Okay, so let me ask this then. So, I'm a Division II guy, Fort Valley State University and SIC. We got a Blue Machine marching band, and no one be mentioning Fort Valley. We done got so good, man. No one be mentioning Fort Valley. Like, we just out here winning football games. We went like 8-2 last year. Then Blue Machine marching band. I feel like we got over 100 members now. You know what I'm saying? We filled up the whole street at parade, but no one be talking about us. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just Division II. What you think on in Division II?
Oh, listen, I'm one of the guys. Listen, Morgan's been a small band. We've been a small band in these big conferences, so I get it. Totally get it. So I love to see the progression of the SIAC and the CIAA. As far as Division II, I don't know, man. I gotta go with my boy Whitehead at Virginia State. They never disappoint. Never disappoint. Matter of fact, we was in Alabama for the Honda. And the part, see, that when the cameras cut off, unless you were there in the stadium, it was just Morgan and V State just going back and forth. It was just Morgan and V State, and we was loving every minute of it. But if I had to go to another conference, maybe the SIAC, it's hard.
You got options.
Miles is the staple, but Kentucky State.
Yeah.
Man, I love that sound.
Benedict too.
Wilberforce came out of nowhere too last year.
Yeah, they did. And see, with Wilberforce doesn't play football, and they have a basketball team, so I don't believe they're in the SIC or the CIAA. They possibly could qualify, because they're in HBCU. Talladega's in there too. Talladega tough. Talladega's tough in their Division II. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you never know. But Benedict, putting bias aside for Fort Valley, Benedict is tough too.
Yeah.
They got it. They cold with it. Like, they right there. Like, the past few years, it's been Miles College and Benedict.
Yeah. I had a student I sent down to Benedict a couple years ago, and that's when I finally started paying them attention. So Benedict has definitely been doing well. Then, especially when I forget the kid name. The one played trombone, he was down there killing it too, man. So Benedict has definitely been doing their thing.
And see, we're gonna lock you in. Okay, we're gonna lock you in for this. All right. So you said Division One. If Morgan State, let's say Morgan State, just like, nah, we got other magnificent things to do. So it's like, we'll let y'all
Paris.
have it.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
So I ain't gonna lie, we focusing on Paris right now, but,
okay, but I feel that. I feel that. So it's like, we got more magnificent things to do. We're going to Paris out here. So, like, you got Norfolk, Jackson State, MEAC, SWAC. All right. Then for Division Two, you said you like Virginia State. That's in the CIAA, and you said Miles first. So you said Virginia State and Miles. I like that you make selections because a lot of folks been playing politics. And I feel it. I definitely feel it. Sometimes you can't say this school is going to win. I feel that, but I like that you made selections. I like that.
That's me, man. Like, I'm gonna keep it straight, regardless. I mean, if it's not me, if it's not my school, I'm gonna definitely give props to who is that deserves it.
Listen, I love it. See, and it makes it fun. It makes it fun because if they all make it, we're gonna look back at this interview like he already knew. he must have had the script. See, he's on the board. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he knew. You know what I'm saying? So listen, we love to see it. Now, let's really get into the nitty-gritty, the main event while we're here. Let's talk about your chapter in the HBCU experience, the HBCU Band Alumni 3rd edition. What you talk about in your chapter?
So a lot of people know me from the 5th quarter. Like, when the 5th quarter came out, January 19th, 1999. Okay. And that's why I made sure I put my nickname on here, Baloo, because in the band world, everybody knows me as Baloo. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for Facebook, no one would really know my real name. People in my own band didn't even know my real name. But and so if you know me from back then, you know my thing is trombone. I studied trombone, and I followed a lot of the trombone players and sections and what they were doing. So pretty much my chapter is pretty much chronicalizing my experience battling other trombone sections and getting material based upon who we were facing. So that was our biggest thing. So, like, the trombone section at Morgan State, we're known as the Legion of Bones. So that's our section, and we were notorious for we would always study who our opponent was, and we would decide how we was going to show up that weekend. Like, if it was a school where they just like the power, we're going to come at them with some power, or we might switch it up, do something popular off the radio, grab the crowd. We've done that before. Or we knew we had to go see Norfolk, like the Horny Horns at Norfolk, they finesse. So we already know we got to come in there with some sweet stuff because they don't care about none of that power stuff. Can you play? So we had to come up with stuff like that. So that's pretty much what my chapter is about. About being a trombone player, admiring other players from afar and, picking their brains and pretty much how we approach our fanfares when we're trying to face other sections.
See, I love it. So essentially your chapter is about you being the HBCU band Kobe Bryant, okay? Just scouting reports. Like, like Kobe knew that he didn't like to go left, so he would play you on your left. He wouldn't know what to do. Still that ball, dunk it, and he just snarl at him like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So look, funny story real quick. So because of the 5th, we knew a lot of people from different eras. So I met a bunch of guys from Norfolk from like the late 80s, right? And one of my cool friends is a guy who played trombone named Lenny, and I knew he wrote a lot of their fanfares. So fast forward to about 2010, right? So we go to it's the Labor Day Classic. So we go down there to the game, and I'm in Phi Mu Alpha. So I'm down there with some of my brothers, and some of them play trombone. And I'm like, hey, I already know y'all playbook. The first song y'all about to play is Night in Tunisia. Show now. Like, y'all been playing the same thing for 30 years. I know y'all book. I know what you about to play next. And he was mad because I was calling out what they about to play next before they played it.
You missed your calling as a football coach, man. I'm telling you, you didn't even name what's the staff. You know, whereas like, hey, listen, coach, they're going to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, QB draw, get them. You know what I'm saying? Like they need you because North Carolina Central. And at this point, you know, this maybe could have tried to contain Davius Richard. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you missed your calling a little bit, man. But because see, that's the type of energy I like, because like that's the sport of it. And I think that people miss, you know, the fact that marching band culture, it's a sport and it's competition. And now that's being reaffirmed now with ESPN Vanity competition. So you knew that from back in the day. Like you knew that, calling out fanfares from Jump Street. Like you knew who was getting up first. Yep. Okay. like you knew how quickly they were getting up. You knew when they left. You know what I'm saying? You knew what food they ate after they got done. You know what time they went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? See, listen, we love to see it. We love to see it. So I'm excited. I might learn something about some, you know, some scout, man. I'm excited to read your chapter, man. So listen, before we go, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So before we go, so everyone, we can find you on social media, how we can support you.
Social media, you can find me on Mr. Neal Music on not Twitter anymore. I guess X.
No, it's Twitter. It's Twitter.
It's on all platforms. Mr. Neal Music, that's the one I use for like all my teaching. Like you'll see a lot of the stuff I do with my kids. I keep them energetic. TikTok, Instagram, it's all the same thing. One thing I love, you gotta make sure it's all the same across the board, so it's easy to find somebody. Facebook, same as my name, Marcus Ballou Neal. So that's what I'm doing, man. I'm just a teacher in Baltimore, man, teaching kids. Just giving kids the experiences I didn't have, and so exposing them early so they can have that same experience. Like I had a couple kids, they already done graduated from Morgan. I got a couple kids still in the band at Morgan now. One down at Shaw. Couple went through Bowie. Like I said, one went to Benedict. Had one go to Alabama State, but she didn't march. I tried to get her to march.
Listen, I love it. You're doing a lot of amazing things with the students. Even though she didn't march, she went to an HBCU. I thought she was about to say she went to Alabama, like University of Alabama. We were like, now try to get it over an HBCU. At least she went. At least went to an HBCU. You know what I'm saying? So we love to see it. But listen, Mr. Marcus Ballou Neal, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we're excited to read your chapter and just get the breakdown inside the mind of Ballou. Okay, on ESPN. All right, I appreciate you for coming on.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Listen, that's dope. That's dope. Listen, like I love it. Like just the band energy and just the precision that goes into it and just the knowledge that goes into it. It's always super dope. And we don't gotta wait too long to really get that band culture and that band experience, because the HBCU experience, the HBCU Band Alumni 3rd edition, is coming out really soon. That date's going to drop really soon. The new trailer's going to drop really soon. And of course, as you already know, we got football and band on Saturday, 7:30 p.m., South Carolina State University. You got Jackson State University on ABC MEAC SWAC Challenge. So listen, y'all got to make it happen. Y'all got to go check it out. So y'all got two things to really look for when it comes to HBCU and band culture. But outside of that, we got more interviews coming up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to HBCUPulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse